Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. It has been an interesting couple of weeks. I was not here last week, and there are two reasons behind that. Number one, I was on vacation from work. No actual vacation, more of a staycation, and I was kind of lazy. I got a little bit of stuff done. Uh, I made a list. I accomplished a lot of the things on that list. Cleaning up this office was one of them. And I don't know what it is about the office. It's probably got something to do with the computer and all the cables and the cameras. And it's just such a huge undertaking. And that was the perfect time to just sit down and hash it all out, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't. And so here we are, another week with a mess of an office, which is completely workable. I've learned to live with the slight disorganization that it is. So that's fine. I don't mind that. Hello, Larry. It's good to see you, sir. I hope everything is okay with you. So, the office didn't get rearranged. A lot of other stuff around the house did get taken care of. One thing that I did do, I found a carpet cleaner. The carpets here in this apartment, if you remember, it's been about a year ago. I did post over on Patreon a public video of the tour of the apartment when I first got it, showing, when there really wasn't much in it. Uh, and so it is kind of big, but the carpets in here are of like a low grade commercial kind of carpet quality, and I'm sure they've been in here for a while. So they had some stains and imperfections and stuff. Well, I found a carpet cleaner on like Facebook Marketplace or something. And it actually even came with the cleaning solution. Um, and they claimed it was only used like once. So I bought this for about half price and I brought it home. Now, first off, they had used this thing to like clean a swamp or something because it was filthy. So the first step was cleaning disassembling the carpet cleaner and cleaning it and putting it back together. So I got that done. That took a little bit. And yes, amazingly, and I still don't know how because I was taking care to put everything back. I still ended up with extra screws, but it functions okay. So and I could not figure out to save my life where they went. So who knows there? It's back together though, and then I went through the process of cleaning the carpets. Now it's a smaller. It's probably the smallest carpet cleaner I've seen in like an upright. So it doesn't hold a lot of water, and the tank doesn't, therein hold a lot in the suction tank. So it was a lot of trips. Like you have to do like a relatively small area, do that, then go empty it, refill it, and rinse and repeat about 1,000 times. I got most of the important areas: the living room, the hallway, the kids' bedroom, my bedroom. A lot of these areas I got taken care of like completely, and it made a huge difference. Some areas were a little worse off than others. Obviously I went over those a few times, but that took like a whole day of just cleaning carpets. Uh, and I'm still technically not done. I still have the back room, which the kids use as a playroom. The whole rest of the hallway, I have a storage room. I'm not too worried about doing in there, but yeah, carpet cleaning took up a good portion, and then some other points in time, it was just general laziness. I didn't I didn't do a whole lot. I had a week off at work, but I will tell you one thing for certain. I am paying for it now that I have returned to work because in my absence, not much happened. So I came back to over 500 emails and a bunch of, hey, this should have happened last week kind of stuff. So that was fun. I'm getting, I'll say I'm getting close to caught up now. Uh, what? It's Wednesday night, tomorrow's Thursday, so I'm starting to get close to caught up on top of everything. It's a mess. I mean, every day something comes up, some new thing, some new emergency. It's not bad. I don't mind it, but it is strange how something is always going wrong somewhere. There's never a dull moment. So, oh, well, there is Josh. It's good to see you, sir. I hope you are doing well. How is everything going? Uh, Wrench and the Bolts on YouTube, if you are not familiar. Mr. Josh holding down the fort. Hope everything is well, Josh. I haven't been over too much lately. I've been busy. I haven't been over too much lately to see what you have had going on, but I will have to jump over and see. I know I get a lot of the notifications when you're live, but you obviously have way more free time than me. I'm not always able to jump on, but I will try to next time I see a notification. Anyhow, interesting news. Um, I am. I haven't confirmed the date with them yet, but I was leaning towards like Tuesday, um, trying to get up to Century Trading Company. They had invited me up for their fall sale or Thanksgiving sale, however you want to put it. I forget what they call it. Um, but they invited me up for the sale, and I think I'm going to try to get up there. I'm even trying to work with, it's about time I need to get a hold of him tomorrow. I'm trying to get a cameraman. I know it's way too much production value for what I do, but I figured it would be somewhat easier. He can worry about getting the shots. I can worry about dialogue and maybe an interview with their marketing director or something, and then we could go from there and see what it turns into. I mean, I would like to do them, a service, promotion wise. I think it would be nice. Something though, I'm gonna switch you guys over here because we'll get over to the Reddit portion of the show here in a second. I want to show you guys something, and I thought this was interesting. So I'm gonna go to my YouTube analytics, and we are going to go to where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna go? Okay, so these are my top videos in this period, right? My salvage inspection video, that's always done good. I don't know what that thing's up to yet. Um, Last I checked, it was at like 50K. What's it at now? It's gotta be. Oh, I don't get total views. Since uploaded views, yeah, like 52K. Okay, it's still not doing great. I mean, I guess it's still doing well, but not super great. But yeah, it's at like 50K. But that's not the interesting thing. The interesting thing here is this: the quarter-inch socket set comparison video, which I labeled as quarter-inch snap-on set too much or something as the video title. Um, it did nothing, or at least not much, for a long time, and then somewhere around here, April, it finally crest over 1,000 views, and then it's just been steadily increasing ever since. Now, The click-through rate on it is still low. It's like 6.1%, so it's not great. Um, it could be better, but it's actually starting to generate revenue. I spent over $500 making this video, buying all of the different quarter-inch socket sets. The most expensive being the snap or the SK, obviously. But I'm actually starting to get some small portion of that revenue back. And this just goes to show you, like, here's a year. Now, obviously, after a year, it's gotten up there. I don't know. It's getting some views now. I don't know what's changed. Maybe it's just being put in front of more people. But this just goes to show you, even if a video seems to flop and it's not really doing much, sometimes over time, I've had a lot of videos like this that seem to do better as they go along. They become more popular as time increases. So that, I think, was very interesting. And then this video, it's a short one, on the purge evap solenoid replacement on the ex-wife's Acadia. That thing did kind of like a similar thing. It just slowly started taking off, and now that people are actually fixing old cars, it's becoming yeah, what? 13,000? Holy hell. I've gotten over $110 from just this video. That's crazy. Um, Somebody somewhere external, that could be Google. Maybe it got to Google. I don't know what I do specifically, but I get a lot of, well, I say a lot. It's probably not as many as I would like to think, but a good portion of my videos get put into Google search because they become popular, I guess, and then Google catches on to that, and somebody searches something, they go to YouTube, they click this video. I don't know what happens in their algorithm, but at some point they're like, oh, if you search this, you're probably looking for this video. Google has recommended. So if you can get into YouTube recommended and Google recommended, it's huge for a video, and that seems to be what's happened here. 13,000 people have watched that video. That's crazy. What's the click-through on it? 7.8%. Now, now here's the other thing. The click-through, yeah, look at this. Here it is right here. Google search is 38% of my external traffic. Some people are getting it from Facebook, some people from other places, Yahoo, but Google search, it's ranked in Google now. So that's interesting. So that video is doing really well too. This is just amazing. And look at this, guys. I haven't really made any videos of any good nature in closing on a year. It's kind of working up that way. So this just goes to show, like, it's not always over when it's over, which is one of the reasons that I am gonna try to get back into videos here. Going up to Century Trading Company will be part of the kickoff there. Let me see this one. I'm interested in this. The cleaning with shaving cream again. That same thing. Look at this. It's up to almost 12K. I've gotten, well, I don't know what's up with the revenue on this one. It's not getting anything for revenue. Lots of people dipping off. But 12K estimated revenue, $10. It's not too shabby. Anyhow, enough with the analytics. Let's get over to our tools. Only one person's here. That's probably Larry. This is what happens when you skip live stream weeks without telling anybody. I did genuinely plan on being here last week. I forget what happened. General tired. Maybe I took a nap. I'm not sure. But for whatever reason, whatever the case was, maybe I got caught up in something. I just made the executive decision somewhere short therein that I wasn't gonna hop on. So sometimes when that happens, your faithful people uh, tend to disappear. So we'll make it a short one tonight. We won't keep anybody long. So we're going to go through this. Here is our first post from our tools. And this user says they're visiting relatives from his mother's family's farmstead going back at least 5 generations. And he's showing us here the wall o' tools. And boy, do they have. See, now sometimes this is all you need. It just depends. Oh man, it don't even. Well, okay, hold on. That's the backside of that other wall. That's still pretty impressive. Sometimes that's all you need is some plywood and some nails, screws, whatever they used here. Um, that's nice. I like that. It's simple. It's clean. It's organized. Like that's the kind of organization I can probably get behind. My toolbox may look like crap, but if I can get a hanging system like that up, yeah, it's not too bad to just throw a bunch of stuff on there. But you can tell there's some old tools in there too. So I like that they're keeping stuff around. I like especially go back to that first one here. You see a lot of these old custom wrenches that you just don't see a lot anymore, and they do have their uses. If you look there, you got the boxed end open end, but it's got the raised handle on it. You just nobody makes stuff like that anymore. Not seen very often at all. Okay, so we will go back and scroll down. What in the world? The depot finally had one of these in stock. Apparently, there is a new super compact Dewalt quarter-inch driver. Jeez, that thing's tiny. I mean, they're always usually a little small. That one's ridiculously small. But I wonder, about the power, and I also wonder how useful that's going to be. Because when you look at the battery, like, I mean, yeah, it'll probably get into some spots, but I'd like to really see a comparison on that versus like another DeWalt or another similar brand's normal quarter-inch impact. That thing looks tiny. That's that's interesting. I am not aware of this. Um, I did see somebody do a video. I didn't watch the whole thing on the DeWalt stack batteries, the power stack that we talked about a couple weeks ago. I knew somebody would be doing it. I didn't watch it. Um, I'll probably wait for like Project Farm or somebody to do one and still be like 6 months late seeing that video. But that's the one that I'm looking for, is to see how those power stack batteries compare to our regular dry cell lithium ion batteries. Um, Hi, Dano. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, I mean, all is well. I'm in a little bit of a funk, I guess, from the vacation last week. As I stated earlier in the stream, it wasn't as productive. Obviously, I missed last week's live stream, and I was off. I did get a lot of stuff done, a lot of stuff accomplished, but just I don't know. You always take vacation, and then at the end of your vacation, you feel like you need a vacation. Does that make sense? It does to me. And so I've returned back to work. I'm almost caught back up with all of that, or as well as I can be. And we're moving right along. So I'm all right though. It's just I guess like winter's coming. Everybody gets kind of in that phase of life during winter. The world does not look as promising. We have all these uh, mandates and things coming through, which are concerning, I'm sure, to most people. So that's getting mildly serious. Even my employer is now talking about. Uh, I I haven't seen anything real come through yet, like that's like demanding anything, but they're talking about making people that are not uh, jabbed or whatever go get tested once a week, and it's still not clear like who's paying for this or what's going on. So uh, concerning, very very concerning. But for the most part, I'm good. Okay, so somebody here's got. I'm guessing that's a Leatherman. It looks nice enough to be a Leatherman. Um, and they're showing it off, and that's cool. Multi tools, they're it's a tough one. I know a lot of guys that carry them. It's nice to have a blade or a little saw or something, but it ain't gonna get you out of too much of a bind. Like if you need some tools, you need some tools. A Leatherman ain't gonna save you. Now, if it's a survival situation, yes, you will be damn happy that you had a Leatherman or something in your pocket or on a holder in your belt or whatever have you. But if you ain't out in the wilderness, you probably aren't going to reach for it as often as you think. You'll go get a wrench or an actual knife or whatever have you. Does it count as a new tool day if you're the one that made it? I'm kind of wondering what you made it for. And it's probably not actual gold. I'm guessing that it's brass or it's something else and you've painted it this color. But I'm kind of wondering, like, what are you doing? Are you making jewelry with it? I guess that's about the only thing I could think of. You would need an anvil that small for. Um, yes, Kyra. Okay, go get some water.
Okay.
She about to get me like screwed up on some YouTube stuff, walking around the house with no pants on. Damn kids. Anyhow, uh, yeah. So tiny anvil, who knows? This guy has his workbench set up, and I like this because it's dirty and it's dusty. It's still organized. He's got some beer stuff here, some flair, I guess you would call it. A nice simple wooden socket holder there above the wrenches. The wrench holder, very nice. I don't think that's a magnetic. That looks like a piece of steel that he's customized as a screwdriver holder and other assorted items. But then he's got his computer like right here. This looks very reminiscent of my old garage setup over at the ex-wife's. Um, it was a mess. It was horrible, but I had a computer stuffed out there, much similarly to what he's got going on here. So, um, I definitely like this. It brings back good memories. Plus that light, like the desk light that he has, like you can tell this guy's thrifty. He's not throwing stuff away. He's very simple. Like you could tell all of this was just some screws that he threw in there. um, to hold his wrenches and things, and these are probably screws too. He's kept it very simple. I like this. He's not a clean freak. This, again, is the kind of organization I can get behind. I can aspire to this level of organization and cleanliness. Uh, that I can do. So, new toolbox day, Snap-on KTL 1022, the first real toolbox. I'm super excited. As you should be. That's a very clean box. I like that. I don't even think that's like a navy. It might be closer to a navy. Maybe I'm seeing more of the reflection of the floor off of it. I see his legs here in the reflection. But that thing is sharp. I like the color. It's obviously a quality box that should hold you for some time. Hopefully, I wonder if he bought it new. It doesn't say. I'm not going to read through all the comments. But I wonder if he bought it new. He should have been able to get something like that used for... I don't know what toolbox prices have done. I know what all the other prices have done, but he should be able to get that for about $2,000 or so used, I would think, unless this is like a new model. I'm not up on my Snap-on models. But he does say new, so maybe he bought it new. Either way, that's still a very nice box. Bro, with some clever arranging, my most valuable tool now sleeps in my 3-car garage with 3 cars. And I'm guessing his most valuable tool is the scissor lift. It would have to be. That's a parking job from hell. It's not too bad, but... bro, who are these people? And what do you do? I'm going to brag here. I make good money, right? I mean, it's not stellar, I guess, but I make good money. I don't know anyone who can afford, maybe he don't have kids. If he don't have kids and he has my job, then maybe he can't afford this, or a girlfriend. Or wife or fiance or whatever, insert partnership here. Yeah, there's something there is a difference somewhere between this guy and me, and I'm not just talking about the organization. There's obviously a fundamental difference between he and I, because I make good money and I cannot even dream of something like this. If I had something like this, I would struggle because I would be out there all the time doing something. Approximately 4K. Is that new or is that used, Larry? Because I'm thinking that's used. You should be able to find one for 2K or so, 2,500, something like that. Like the Snap-on boxes there for a while. You could get a used Snap-on box for less than the Icon boxes at Harbor Freight. I mean, good condition, not old, not beat up. Guy's got a table saw. It looks like he's got some jigs sitting there. Either that or that's just junk sitting on the table, but that looks like the jigs. So, it's not bad. It's a Rigid. I heard Rigid is coming out with some new tools. That's something of, new, 2K used. Yeah, that sounds about right. That reminds me, Tool Review Zone, if I'm saying that correctly. Lucky that he is, him and Vince from VCG got to go to the Ryobi Rigid plant, and he did a video on it. I'm sure Vince did a video. I didn't watch Vince's video. I like Vince. I like what they do over there. It's just sometimes he seems a little over the top for me. I mean, you guys see the level of excitement that I aspire to. So um, I watched Tool Review Zone's video, or at least most of it. It's very interesting, and the quality control standards and things on the Ryobi stuff um, is very interesting. They're doing some things like the automotive manufacturing has been doing for years, which are like PLC drive torque wrenches that not only torque things down to a specific setting, but they record all of that data so that, you know, if any quality issues do come up, they can like literally a year, 2 years later look up that lawnmower in the system and say when it ran through, the first one failed for whatever reason. It'll usually have like a programmed retry, or if it's a person doing it, like they can, you know, activate the retry manually. And then so if it retries, it still keeps that same number, and then we'll log the second try and then the torque setting that it tightened it to. And it has a window, it measures the pitch, it does everything. So if it comes anywhere close to anything odd or, uh, you know, halfway down has something wrong with the threads and has to get a lot of torque to get past that, like it's not going to do any of that. It would fail for any of those reasons. So they're real interesting. And it's real fun to program. The ones that we used for our facility were a Stanley. And I know what you're thinking, like Stanley. No, like these things were high tech, super high tech, like borderline too high tech. We were only using a small fraction of the capabilities of these things. And so, like, we'd have to program them to come down to you control the startup, the ramp up time to the actual speed, the speed, then the final torque. And there were just all these little minute settings that you had to change and adjust to try to get it to do what needed to happen. In a lot of these cases, we were putting these into aluminum. And so, as anyone knows, you've got to be real careful with that. Sometimes it's unavoidable, you're going to strip things out. But for the most part, the repeatability and the quality control on them was phenomenal. Like they really did work really well. The only downside is I think like one setup, like one unit, is with the gun and the cable and everything for probably in the neighborhood of like 30 plus grand. And when you're talking, we had like multiple all over the place. You know, it gets expensive. But yeah, very cool on that. So yeah, that's a good video. If you haven't watched that already, get over and watch that. It's definitely worth it. What is this? Need some advice. Bought, found in garage recently bought with no knowledge of what these are. Okay, bro. Some better pictures would have been nice. Um, that almost looks like it almost looks like a air compressor. I don't see anything else that is driving. That looks almost like an air compressor. And I have no idea what that is. But they fold out. That does something. I don't know. I'm not smart enough. That's got cords hanging from it. That's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. This old farm country or something. He's still got the leaded windows. I mean, a lot of places still look like this, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Let's see what the comments say. Here's what they are. Too heavy to want to move to a new house. Yeah, that's almost exactly what they are. They look like tables you buy the garage from Saul. Yeah, everybody else is. The thing on the table to the right is a compressor. Okay. I feel vindicated. That's what it looks like to me. This gentleman, I think 69 Mach 1 seems like a gentleman. If it's not, that's one bad chick. Um, yeah, it's definitely a compressor. Like I said, I don't know. They do. They either it's a jig or something. They look like they fold out or they go together. Like this is a transformer. Like this transforms or morphs. They interlock to do something. I don't know what, but it's something definitely for sure. So at the very least, it's some scrap metal if you want to go that route. Europe and Japan living in harmony. Oh, that's cute. Uh, you know, quality though. Quality is the important thing here. Um, you know, and then we get down to here. Wife got him an early Christmas gift. My old home mechanic set is a raggedy bag of scattered sockets. Great deal, but the gave him a 9 instead of a 10. Oh my gosh. Oh, the pain. The pain in my heart for this guy. And I will say this, that Cobalt set that I got, that's in the cart with the foam insert, I did a video on it back when I used to do videos. And I broke the 10 millimeter. And the thing is, this was, God, I don't know how long ago. But the thing is, I called the store and they said they would replace it. I never remember to take that thing in when I go in. So, I don't know. Maybe one day I will. Who knows? But eventually. But yeah, these little sets here, a few companies make these. They're not they're not bad. If you're not staking your livelihood on something, it's not a bad kit. Just to have around, throw in the truck kind of thing. I have no idea what this is. He says it's a hammer. I don't believe it. Or maybe it is, and it's got like it's probably that looks like a metal forming hammer if it's anything, and it looks like you can change out the back end of it to get different shapes out of it. Um, that kind of looks like what I'm seeing there. Local farmer using cool fence post driver attachment just by my property. Weight lifting rope snap, so I provided a ladder and some tools, a 19 millimeter socket really to help him fix it. It was a splendid afternoon. That's cool. Okay, so he's got a thing on his tractor, and it's a big ass. Sorry, Bill. It's a big post driver, basically like just a big weight with a hollowed out center, and he's driving these posts out. I mean, I like it. I mean, whatever you can do, right? And that's the thing, man. A lot of people are tripping. If you got a nice tractor, it'll still cost you some money, but you can buy an attachment for that thing for almost anything. You need a front end loader. I mean, uh, the ex-wife's grandparents they don't have a farm, but they got a lot of property for this area, and a river runs through it and some stuff. And he had a Kubota uh, lawnmower tractor hybrid thing, and it had a front end loader. He had the forklift attachment for it. He had a good amount of stuff for it on top of being a lawnmower. And I tell you what, if you have land like that, you almost have to have something like that. I mean, not only for just lawn mowing, and cutting grass, but to do, if you're actually gonna do the things that come required with having large amounts of land like that. You almost have to. And you can get an attachment for a tractor to do all kinds of things. They have them out there. They exist. And a lot of times you can even use the old ones. They'll still bolt on and you can, pull behind or whatever have you. Tractors are just amazing. And a lot of times nowadays everybody wants to buy like an individual piece of equipment for everything, but the farmers are hip. They know, like, you just got to buy the attachment and put it on your tractor. Food for thought. Us city guys are getting screwed. New tool days, the Dewalt, half-inch impact, and that thing is pretty tough. That's what we had at the Amazon site that I used to work at, and we put that thing through some paces, and it's still ticking. The adjustable torque on it could be better. We've talked about this. Lots of us YouTubers have speculated about what it will really take for them to get that specified torque driver, say, a torque wrench basically built into an impact driver. It's a lot harder than you think. And that goes back into the earlier conversation about the Stanley torque drivers. Those things are... The interesting thing about those guns is how small they were. Now, granted, they're not driving in stuff like this, but they're real skinny. I mean, they're long and skinny. It looks like a really long electric torque wrench, but it's an impact driver at the same time. So, I mean, it exists, but it's expensive. So it ain't coming too soon. Plus, it takes basically a whole computer. Maybe 16 inches by maybe 8 inches and 8 inches deep. I mean, like an Xbox One or something. Ignoring the chat. I am not ignoring the chat. I was on a topic. Mark. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you, sir. Everybody, bother Mark as much as possible, because he bothers me on a constant basis. I cannot deal with it. So anyhow, yeah. The torque driving impact driver is not something that we're going to see anytime soon. It would be really cool, though, to try to get one of those suckers and see if you could adapt it. I'm sure you could, but it wouldn't have near the functionality because the entire brain is kept in that control box and the program and everything else. It takes a lot to really do those. But as far as the motoring is concerned, the unit is very small. So it's mainly just for torquing down nuts. It's not really made for impacting like those are. So it's a different kind of thing. I don't understand this one. Available in stores, San Jose, California. Only the real ones know where. Well, let's see if we can zoom in and figure out where. Because I don't know. No, I don't. Maybe it's like that Acme tool store that I never get to. Could be. But yeah, it looks like they're selling some things for some decent prices. That's the only thing that sucks about quality tools is the cost behind them. Now, hopefully, you pay the cost and then you're good for a while. But man, it's rough. It's like sometimes. That's one of the reasons the SK socket set from that 1/4-inch socket video we talked about earlier. That's one of the reasons I sold it. I mean, I love SK, but especially having all of those sets, I didn't need it. and I gave somebody on Facebook Marketplace like a good deal on it. I forget what I paid for it and what I sold it for exactly. Um, I could look back in the chat, I'm sure, but I think that they got it for, I want to say it was like $200 or something like that, and they got it for like 150. They got a deal on it, whatever they got it for. But I had to sell it to try to recoup some of that cost from the video. It was just ridiculous. Um, ooh, pretty. I don't know too many people that use the S style box wrenches that often, but it looks like this guy's happy to have them. He's got the boxed end, flex head, ratcheting wrenches. Who are those made by? Is that Duratec? Wow, I feel like it's the 90s. My picture's like loading all small. Yep, Duratec. I didn't even know they made those. So whose are these? Duratec. Okay, he's a Duratec guy. Not hating on that. Who was it that made big wrenches like that? Mountain or somebody? It was yes, it's easy to ignore the only 4 people in the chat. Yes. Well, this as I stated earlier, this is what happens when you ignore the chat, right? Or don't stream for a week without notice. You kind of lose everybody. It happens. It's okay. I don't hate on anybody. But yeah, this guy got some new gifts. This seems really early and strange for Christmas gifts, and a couple of guys have said this now, that they're already getting gifts. I mean, that's cool. What the heck? That's some kind of bore tool or deburr tool of some kind. Maybe, I don't know. What's it say? For unscrewing threaded PVC parts of a sprinkler system. There you go. You learn something new every day. And now we know, gentlemen, that that's a damaged sprinkler head removal kit tool thing. The Dewalt XR brad nail stapler doohickey. It looks weird, and I kind of wonder why it needs to be so big. I hope it has enough power. Being as large as it is, the thing looks pretty hefty. But, yeah. Dewalt is just one of those that I just don't think it's going to go away. Like, almost ever. It's going to take a lot to kill Dewalt. It really will, because they're like the gold standard. No pun intended for their yellow color. But, I mean, I don't want cheap, but I'm going to put this thing through hell. DeWalt. That's just it. And then you got your fancy pants that want to do Metabo or... well, wait, is it Metabo anymore? I still remember who bought out who. Whose name was actually accidentally mentioned on a video? Bill? Who? There's my crypto miner going crazy. Yeah. Who was mentioned who? Wait. Bill, Larry, Dano, anyone else I missed? That's everybody. That's everybody this week. When you buy a new tool and a newer version comes out 2 weeks later. Oh, it happens all the time. But that new version probably going to cost you more money. So, almost undoubtedly going to cost you more money. Wait, what? Was I mentioned? Am I getting back into the feud? Um, uh-oh. I don't. So some publicity is bad publicity sometimes. Me and Justin, I think we're on decent terms. I don't remember being mentioned. Who was it? Was it Dow? Maybe I have to get over there and see what was being talked about. But knowing Dow, Dow's got some really long videos and live streams. Well, I don't know that he's been doing the live streams this much lately. I haven't been checking. I've been totally off the reservation. I know Dow. Um, Somebody somewhere told me he was going through some personal troubles or something. Not my business. You know, to spread rumor, I guess, but someone told me that he was because I think that was back on the me commenting about a whole bunch of people uh, hadn't been post like our generation of YouTubers, like a lot of them hadn't been posting a lot. Like you'll see like the Instagram post and it'll be like, oh, so and so hasn't posted in or posted for the first time in a while. You see that kind of stuff come up, and here lately, that seems to be just about everybody. So the market's kind of slowed down as far as my generation of YouTubers. Brad's still over there kicking ass on all his woodworking and stuff. He even has a new product out. It's I don't want to do it a disservice. It's like a tongue. It's not a wax like the other. It's like a tongue conditioner. It's pourable, if I remember the video correctly. And so it makes it for like things that you're not actually turning. Maybe like an actual piece of wood. I think he uses it mainly for like charcuterie boards and things like that. If you don't have it on a lathe, then you're actually like sitting with the piece of work in front of you. Um, he likes that better, so he's come out with that. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. That's all I need. I'll take that. Name dropping is fine. At least it wasn't in any kind of distaste. We never like to see that. More on an unhealthy obsession with Dewalt. Not bad, not bad. So is that's see there's a picture of the normal XR. Well, I don't know if that's the XR specifically, but the normal brushless quarter-inch impact, and that other one looked. I mean, that maybe that is the same one. The other one looked small. That might be it, though. Small suckers. They're getting small. It's getting weird out there when your power tools feel small. I don't know. It's like I think it's going the way of cell phones. Remember when cell phones were just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then all of a sudden they started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and big. It's we don't know what we want, and the market keeps steering into different ways. And I rock my old Galaxy Note 9. And it's, at the time, it's a pretty big phone. Ever since they started coming out with like the 6-inch phones, the first one that came out was a Samsung Galaxy Mega. I got that because I always watch stuff on my phones and I hate like the tiny screen thing. So I went big when they first went like really big. I think at the time they called them phablets, like phone tablet kind of thing. And I went that route. And now, ever since then, I don't have my work phone on me. It's AWOL somewhere. But I have my work phone is an Apple iPhone 8, I think. And I can barely text on that thing. Like I literally, it's too small. Like I'm always messing up and having text errors, and it's almost unusable. I just am so used to having a larger phone that I can't work the smaller ones like at all. It is nice for like the one hand operation, I guess, but even that, I'm kind of used to this, you know. So I really can't. It's gonna take a lot for me to like if they start going smaller again. It's gonna take a lot for me to work back into that. Okay. It was Dow thinking James from Midwest Tool was talking about cheap tools and he thought it was about him, but another video that just had nothing to do with him. Yeah, I use the talk to text sometimes. It just, I don't know, sometimes it gets messy. It doesn't always work the way that you want it to. Depends. Like if I'm driving and that situation, you know, if it works for that, I'll try it. But the minute that it starts screwing up, I just give up, and you know, the person, whoever, is not getting a response. But um, yeah, if I have the attention basically, and I'm not doing something else, I'll do the texting. But if I'm doing like long text, like conversations over text, then yeah, I'll probably switch to like the voice to text. And usually, it does pretty good, which is scary because Google's listening to everything that we say. So this guy has a central pneumatic air tool. He's got the swivel on the bottom. I mean, I don't know if that's necessary, but he's got it. Um, and this, again, this is the way, man. Especially for like a home garage, especially for a lot of everybody wants these cordless tools. Air is just so much better. Everybody thinks it's like higher maintenance and oh, you got to buy a compressor and this and that. It's if that's where you're going to be at and that's where you're doing your wrenching, this is a much better option in my opinion than the cordless tools. I mean, everybody does cordless, but in terms of longevity, cost, and all of the other features, uh, pneumatic tools are just the way to go. Uh, the only reason shops have gotten away from it is so that they don't have to uh, or supply compressors to their shops anymore. Because almost every tool seems to have a cordless counterpart, so they put that cost off on the technicians now rather than the shop having to supply and maintain that compressor system for the shop. Tricky people. My kid's moving into a one bedroom in Manhattan. Gathered a few things from the back drawers. What's missing from this starter kit? I mean, he's going to be in Manhattan, so I'm just going to put this out there. He probably ain't going to need half of that. He needed some screwdrivers. Looks like you got him a little husky kit there. That's not too bad. Some vice, like this already is a treasure trove of tools compared to what most people in Manhattan probably have at their disposal. Just saying. And I doubt he's gonna need yard work gloves. Just saying. Um, in Manhattan. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, yeah. I did have a Chicago. No, is it? Yeah, Chicago pneumatic. It's yeah, Chicago. I think. Um, I had one of those. It's 1/4 inch impact gun, and the seal went bad. It's like, well, I say seal. It's more like a almost like a kind of diaphragm. Um, in between, it helps direct the air between the channels. It's think of it like a head gasket. It's like this gasket, and it's got holes and weepers for, to channel things through certain areas and not others. Um, and that had developed like some leaks in it, which caused it not to work. I took it apart, saw what the damage was, made a new gasket, put it in there, fine. And it's literally like one of those old like felt wax paper gaskets. Like it's not rocket science. So I think I used like a thick card stock or something, and did something, put some kind of coating on it to kind of stiffen it a little. I forget what it was. It might have just been like enamel paint, like a few good coats of enamel paint just to kind of let it soak, or something. I put it in something, but anyway, yeah, I just redid that diaphragm or that seal, and it's fine. Gave it a nice little rebuild. Yeah, if you oil your pneumatic tools, you're fine. Okay, so moving right along here, see if we find anything else before we wrap up. Ah, the old furniture pieces. I don't know if you're going to be able to find them. I'm sure you can order them somewhere. But those are the bastardized things that they have put into like all furniture instead of actually putting like bolts and threads into things. They use these for like through bolts. And they're not bad. They're not, but they're not great either. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Who else loves acetate handle screwdrivers? That's pretty much everybody because that's what we were raised on. Um, some people still like a rubber grip. Uh, it just depends on you. Uh, it depends on what you're doing. If your hands are dirty and oily, you're going to want that kind of rubber grip. It's not going to last long, but you're going to kind of want that for the extra grip. Some guys use rubber gloves already anyway, like the mechanics gloves and things. So it just depends on your setup. But uh, I know most acetate handles just kind of, I think they last longer, they look better, they hold up better. Uh, so that's where my heart lies. But there's not a lot of companies really making them. There's the same old Craftsman and a few others that really make them still, but it's kind of gone to the wayside in lieu of injection molded plastic and butyl rubber uh, grips put into that. So German gray screwdriver, is it gray? I don't know. It says what the f f f that? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with that brand. But it is a German screwdriver, so you are probably correct. Yes, Mark, I do have a work meeting tonight, so I'll be hopping off here in just a minute to go deal with that mess and run that meeting. And then theoretically, if everything goes correctly, there's another meeting at 11 o'clock p.m. I hope that they're actually there on that one. We shall see. Actually, I almost guarantee they will be because they were asking somebody to go up to Chicago. I opened my dumb mouth and said I might be able to, so I might get pressured into that one. We'll see. But being that as it is, here's somebody else's ratchet lineup. You get the half-inch here, snap-on, Carlisle, long, comfort grip. Uh, Probably looks like half-inch. And the Matco 3/8 flex head, locking flex head. Uh, is it gear wrench, long handle 3/8, snap on, flex head 3/8 with the handle on it, and then another gear wrench 90 tooth. Uh, Probably still 3/8. Not a bad little setup though. Uh, it's on a dirty tailgate, so how can you hate that, right? Oh God, are we doing this again? Oh no. Oh no. Guys, do you remember this? Tell me you guys remember this. There was some whack tool company that came out with something like this before, and I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. And so, yeah, they're saying you can turn your drill into a jigsaw, a multi tool, an impact driver, an inflator, that's a new one, a hammer drill, a router, okay, a trim saw, very small trim saw, and a sander. Yeah, yeah. The Black and Decker. This guy says Black and Decker did that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah, and then there was also it was it claimed to be made by some kid, but there was a thing. I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet still. It was like this little table, and it was kind of like this. You could like use the drill to power a small table saw and a scroll saw and a bunch of other just like haphazard stuff. And it was like this like portable modular workstation kind of thing that they were trying to like um, market it as, and it was, yeah, pretty much this system, right? Just with a container and stuff made into it. Uh, yeah, I'm not a fan, and most people in the comments aren't either because it's, they're not gonna last like normal tools. I mean, the only thing that might be a saving grace is if the price is right. If buying you that new hammer drill only costs, you know, $60 for this system, where a hammer drill is going to cost you about 200 with something else, maybe. But you got to question the strength of these tools uh, and their longevity. I mean, there's not much to them, and you're at that point you're using this one driver motor to do everything. So this thing's gonna burn up really quick. I mean, it's laden with problems. Dano, I'm sure you're already gone by now. Now that I notice, but have a good night. Wait, bye. Mark said bye, Dano, but I think Dano's still here. It was Larry. Larry left. Anyhow, I'm gonna cut off. I gotta go get ready for my meeting. As always, it's been great. I am going to get up to Century Trading Company. I'm working out the final details now, so I will have something there for sure, thankfully. And I will see you guys at minimum next week for sure. All right, guys, take it easy. Be safe out there. Yeah, great gimmick for Xmas. Yeah, and that's what they do. They put out these gimmicks right before Christmas because they know people are buying tools for people that have tools. They just see something cool that they probably don't have and want to get them stuck into a platform they don't really want to be in. So, yeah, I mean, it is interesting. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, it dies just like the other version of it did. All right, guys. Have a good night. I will talk to you soon.